So last time we talked about how horrible Baldur's Gate was as a module, and that we had to make our own fun, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go over some of the things that we did because it will help lessen the trauma for Chris.
No, it won't. I haven't burned it yet. I'm
You can
still.
do that after this session, buddy.
You know what? You're right about that.
Yeah.
No, I can't because I'm planning on actually translating this into something useful for something else.
There's no helping that.
Oh, there is. There's potential. We agree there's potential.
No, I'm basically going to. Well, I really could just burn it. I don't really need it for what I want to do because I'm not going to start yelling about it. This is a positive video about fun things.
Yes.
Yes. And plus, Chris, think about it this way: you can always find a PDF.
There's always. Well, yeah.
Well, you could always get, the other guy's copy.
Yeah, the hell with that.
Anyway.
Alright, so
Do we want to just go through just week by week how you guys fucked it up? Or what?
Alright.
Sure.
First week was
Actually, first week I want to talk about just because it was the first normal week that there really is. The only, the only real normal like encounter session you run for this entire thing. You come in, they're like, oh, you introduce Baldur's Gate a little bit, and everyone's at the wide, the big marketplace, and then all of a sudden there's people killing people, and then a fight breaks out, and there's combat like normal, like you're used to at encounters. It's really fun.
It's epic combat. It's great. There's demons and there's
No, and I loved one of our
nowhere.
players. There were guys attacking from the second floor of some buildings, and one of our players was like, "Oh, this only has like a 5-foot reach."
30 foot. And they were 35 feet up.
Oh, was it that? I'm gonna simplify. Make it easier.
But
Whatever.
regardless.
Yeah, he didn't quite have the reach, but then he realized, wait a minute. I'm about my character's about 6 foot so high. And his arm's got to be of a couple of feet. Can he do this and then zap a guy? And I'm like, actually, I think that lines about up, and he can do that.
Because
It
he was a
works.
cleric, and so he held up his holy symbol.
Yeah.
The holy symbol is
What?
the origin point for divine spells.
Yeah, and he was just blasting guys with that. I'm like, all right, see, cleverness.
I was
This is
just
fun.
I was just blasting people with Razor Frost at that point, like Ray Frost. I killed
Yeah.
the guy before you got up there.
Yes.
Fun.
And then I used it as a sniper point. I jumped out on him.
That was right. You were running up the. You're trying to run to the second floor and mess these guys up, and then you zapped them.
Yeah.
But then you did run up there and then jumped out of the window onto the awning and zapped a guy.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, first I shot a guy across the wide with like that guy's crossbow. Like,
Yeah, he just took his crossbow and started firing.
And then I'm just like, I took my bow out, jump onto the jump onto the awning and just shoot a guy over there, get back in for it, then jump down. It was fun.
And then the module went downhill until we made our own fun with it.
Well, the first thing you really did was kind of fun. Because I don't remember. The only thing I remember about the first real session
So, week
was
two.
the.
Week 2, we were introduced to
Vanguard.
what I'm gonna call the asshole of Baldur's Gate.
All three of them.
The asshole of
He's the
Baldur's
most
Gate.
assholey.
Well, he did think he was working for a god.
They were
Well,
all
who is
working
it? It's
for God.
D&D.
No, because you said assholey.
Shut
Oh.
up.
So we have this big meeting with, what is it, Silver Shield?
So
Silver
Yeah,
Shield.
yeah. With
He's telling his little spiel how he's
Duke
like,
Silvershield.
everybody in Baldur's Gate works hard, but the people in the outer and lower cities, they're just trash. And like my character's like, fuck it, I'm out.
Which I loved as the DM because I'm like, oh, crap. That's not supposed to happen, but totally valid character reaction. Cool. Like anybody else, and everyone else for the most part is still in the, well, it's encounters. This guy's giving us a quest, right? I mean, that's what's going to happen. So they stuck around.
And then we went to visit. Then we went to talk. Like we agreed to look into things for him, and then we went to the outer city and met the lady there.
And more awesome people.
Little Calimsham.
Yes.
By far more awesome of an NPC than the asshole of Baldur's Gate will ever be.
Yes.
Oh, he's a great NPC. He just happens to be a dick.
That's what makes him a
That's
great
nice.
NPC.
Yeah.
You
and
remember it.
And you kind of understand him, well, at least a little bit, because you've seen that kind of archetype forever. Just, he's more or less a wealthy guy who thinks that wealthy people are great.
Yeah. And doesn't understand that he needs other people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's a dick
So-
Batman.
No, he's not Batman.
No,
He doesn't
he's
have
nowhere
the-
near that cool.
He doesn't have the skill or the coolness to back it up.
That's true. Well, if he got, if he was the chosen Bahal, maybe. But other than that,
That's not enough.
yeah.
We proved that later. We will
Yeah.
prove that later.
So, in this session, we go out to what is it?
The outer city.
Little Kalimshan.
Little Kalimshan. And the rest of the party are doing their things. Me and Andrew go out to Little Kalimshan. And like, yeah, we'll work for you.
They came with them. Wait,
No, it was just you and me.
was it?
Yeah,
No.
they were exploring the places that had to be shut down.
One or two of them were. I thought.
No,
we
it
were
was the
taking-
rest of the party. 'Cause
Yeah.
Quinlan
Yeah,
left.
because Isra Brackrell, let's see, she was the one, and then Thunderth, I think, Thunderth was the Low Lantern.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because the metagaming player.
They were
left.
checking out maybe one of them.
Yeah, they were checking out the little lantern. They saw her.
This was
saw-
a week after that stuff, anyway.
No, no. He was gone that week. It was only 4 at the table. It was me.
He missed the first real week of play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you had a thing. That's right.
Yeah, it was me,
He was in the summer,
Andrew,
right? Yeah.
our war cleric, and our paladin.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did, and they went and did
They
that.
went
And we
and
went to the
checked.
outer city.
So we
Yeah.
went to Little Kalimshan.
Wait,
and
no. We
No, here's
we
what
all
happened.
were there. We all were there.
It was
and then
both.
we literally asked her, "Hey, do these people work for the guild?"
Oh right.
And she's like, "No, you won't find anything there." Okay, fine. Okay, good. Then the war cleric and paladin went to investigate the
That's
little
right.
lantern, see what would happen there, so they could do it. We went.
No, they went to the other place.
we didn't
Actually,
get
I
to
forget.
Yeah, you did. We had more. We had to have more players when that actually happened.
Yeah, no. Like the next week after that is when.
I remember some of them checked out one of the two people. You and Max checked out the other two because after that it was Nathaniel time.
It was not that gold.
Nathaniel.
Because I remember
Some
that
of the names in this are,
No,
Because I
it's
remember-
negative. Let's be positive.
but
No, I remember that
Luster.
one set, like one of the set, like one group of people were down here at like
Yeah,
Ottawa or
they were
whatever,
exploring.
and then all
No, they
at the
weren't.
low
'Cause
end-
it's his first day. No one was
Yeah.
talking to Ravengard.
Yeah, we didn't talk to Ravengard. It's just one of the places to investigate was down here. Remember?
Oh yeah. One of them went out there. Then you guys swung by the Low Lantern on your way out because that was in town, and you
yeah,
were
and
going
we
to
saw
go.
we saw her get arrested.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's how it went. All right, and then
It's
after-
important to know that the Low Lantern was shut down and the owner arrested and put in jail
by
temporarily.
the Flaming Fist.
Mm-hmm.
That comes up later.
Yeah, it does.
Alright, and then after
So
that,
fun.
like
Then-
after investigations of finding out that, well, these people aren't working for the guild, Silver Shield is apparently full of crap, and that the guild is mostly, like, seems to primarily be concerned with, making sure that the outer city and lower city, to a slightly lesser degree, because they're mostly focused on the outer city, are able to at least maintain some semblance of some semblance of life,
Yeah.
some, like, at least have some income so they can get stuff.
Mhm.
We decided to mostly help the guild because
Yeah.
it's more fun that way. So after that, we
We did our infamous first haunting of Baldur's Gate.
Alright, now let me set the stage for you. They're supposed to.
It's a
there's-
dark and misty night.
It's always okay in Baldur's Gate at night because of its geography and everything. It's near the water. It's got mountains and such around. A lot of different
like
things.
the giant river.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because of that, there's at night. It's always a little bit. It's always pretty foggy, and when it gets colder out, the fog can get so dense that a lot of people just don't go out because you really can't see, even with like a lantern light or a lighter of any kind. So
We use physics.
narrow street late at night. Nanthangol, the surly dwarf kind of jerk guy who tends
Who's
one of the
also an
gates.
We met him earlier and
Yeah.
basically bribed our way through.
Oh, that's
Well,
right.
no,
You
no.
paid for everyone's passage,
Yeah,
right?
he's just like,
Like,
just let him through.
Here, yeah, everybody.
And tolls for everybody. Everybody gets tolls.
I got
Yeah.
that money back.
So, what ended up happening is that we get there a little
Yeah.
earlier. I, as a mage,
Well, before we get into that,
Hmm.
it's supposed to be the dwarf. He's got 3 or 4 guys as kind of like guards, and they're
Two
and
guys.
2 regular, just normal, average citizens carrying the luggage chest with the tolls collected that day, or at least during his shift. I'm guessing it's probably half the day.
Yeah, probably.
So it's late at night. It's like around midnight or so, and he packs up and takes off. And then they take all this down to the. I don't even know where the actual destination is, but
Probably a lot. Might be the
they might actually even be his house
somewhere.
for the
At least
night.
we didn't
Somewhere-
Turn it in the morning.
It's
I forget
somewhere it's
exactly.
supposed to go.
you know,
Some security.
And they've got, and then in front of the parties, there's 2 lantern lads. Just young guys whose their job is like we carry lanterns for people, make a little extra money.
the red shirts.
No.
No, the precursors to Ragamuffin,
Oh, okay.
almost.
Yeah, they're waiting to be allowed to be a ragamuffin.
Mm. We'll get to that.
So, yeah. Do you want to pick up your part first, since you
My part
set the scene?
in this glorious, darkly lit, dim night where it's filled with mist is I get to a rooftop and I use my magic.
Specifically, prestidigitation.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I used
you
no,
get-
no, you're right,
That's
prestidigitation
prestidigitation.
to make it seem a little mistier, a little colder.
My friends who still can't pronounce that.
And we wait for the party of lantern lads and people with chest to get in the right position to the point where they get to the colder area of the mist, which is thicker. And then bam, I illusion up an image of a lich. And I think in the store they were running weird noises because it was for something. And I hear this like weird cat girl screamy type thing.
Yeah, I think
Chris,
it's just the music they had on that
yeah,
night.
Chris, that's what the lich sounds like. He's like, okay. And the DM rolls really
I
badly.
feel like it's from an Iron Maiden song
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe. So the DM rolls badly. None of them get past my
I
spell
rolled
save.
so terribly for all of their saves versus not being terrified by the spooky stuff.
Partially because you set it up well with some showmanship of
Yeah.
making things more believable, which is how the saving throws are supposed to go.
So, Lich appears, the Lantern Lads completely just
Go.
drop their
Just
shit
run.
and just run away. And now Andrew.
That's
this
when
is-
my character, who is a halfling rogue, runs out of a side alcove, pretending to also be scared. She's not, because we had discussed our strategy beforehand, like anybody would.
Yeah.
Ran into him. I decided previously that I didn't like this guy. He was a dick. Yada yada yada. First action, it was the old bump and grab. So like hit into him. Pickpocket.
He rolled well, and again, I rolled poorly. I rolled poorly for pretty much this entire little encounter.
It was wonderful.
For you guys, yeah. I mean, it was really fun. It's just, I'm like, oh, come on. Not one of you can't be not scared, really?
So I stole from him once, and then there was some discussion, and so I think I made their fear a little worse by just pretending to be panicked.
And also just coming out of nowhere,
Yeah.
too, is going to freak him out.
So while he's distracted, I steal from him again.
And then...
Then the
What was it, a total of
started-
3 times you ended up
3 times,
stealing
yeah.
from him?
No,
And then I stole the chest.
Then I shifted the illusion as my next action to have him point at the party, which freaked them out more.
And then said his name.
Yeah. And then I jump down because it's an illusion and I don't have to worry about it. And I think I cast Cause Fear specifically on Nat Thangol.
Yep.
So he just drops it.
Again, I rolled poorly on that.
Yeah. And the thing
He's
is,
just-
one of the guys carrying the chest had run off first. The other was trying to.
Oh,
hold
yeah,
up,
and you
and
were
I
helping him.
helped carry the chest.
And
Until
then-
that guy finished freaking out.
And I rolled so poorly for that guy, I didn't just have him, try and run with the chest and drag her along. I had him just drop it and go. He was
And
that
we-
scared.
At which point, everyone else is running. Max's character comes up, helps me with the chest. We go in a different direction.
No, you forget. Before we go in a different direction, I transform the image of the Lich into a cross between
A lich and
a
a chicken.
giant chicken. Thus, Chicken Lich.
And also yelling for Nant
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah!
Depends on whether or not it's just a chicken with glowy eyes and a robe.
No, I was like, undead chicken.
I don't remember this week at all.
Which week?
I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember what you guys did and what happened at all.
Which week is this?
This is the you can't dress too fancy.
That happened.
I know it happened, but
No.
I don't remember what stuff you participated
Is it the
in.
week of the
Andrew
That
got irritated at the fact he couldn't dress properly.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were.
Was I?
Yes, you
I
were.
thought this isn't that when we start the
said-
riot?
No. You put on
No,
you
it doesn't
had
matter.
high
You can't stop
robes.
this
You're
one.
like, I'm so irritated that I can't wear these robes, and we just decided to try and figure out why. Because what happened with that week, that was the starting thing. That
That
was
one even didn't really
that
matter.
was the session that, the criers started saying, Nat Thangol runs in fear
Oh,
for
yeah.
reports
Yeah.
of Chicken Lich.
I remember the vandalism, but I also remember you guys not caring about
No,
it.
that was the week that the other wizard, who was Wizard McWizard, showed up.
Yes.
And he nearly
The
started
no-
a fight.
The gnome wizard.
Yes. No, he was
No,
he was-
this
he was
is
help.
this is the riot.
No,
Yeah.
he was.
The riot that you guys accidentally started.
Right.
Yeah,
I
because
was-
right here, it's the vandalism started, and you guys were like, oh, whatever, because, again, as I said in the previous video, you had no
Right.
idea this was weird,
Yeah.
or out of place,
And
or
also-
more...
But Matt, like the other wizard was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was Wizard wizarding it up, nearly causes a riot because he's like, kiss my shoe, I'm a wizard.
Oh, no, yeah, he was I am the highest of wizards, yes!
I just want to note.
I am a wizard.
I just want to note that I've been playing a wizard in D&D a lot, and I don't dress like robes, hat, beard, and Gandalf cane. I like just normal street clothes.
Max finds it impossible to play a character who is what he says he is.
And throughout this entire season, you were the only one that knew I was a mage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true, he hid it the whole time. Part of this can be explained with the fact that your background was spy.
Yes.
Part of it is because
Magic
Max just
spy.
likes to Max just likes to hold back information.
And you don't.
When it's necessary.
How did the party knowing that I was an illusion mage be necessary for us to complete this?
I never said it was. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
I will
Oh, there's the
I
page
communicate
down.
with my party.
I take offense to that. Anyway, so yeah, that was the riot where our war cleric tossed a rock.
There's some
Guys, watch
vandalism,
this.
and it becomes more and more, and then there's people start being a little more... That's not quite a riot, but people are being a little more vandalous and everything, and then our cleric of war is just like, hey guys, check this out, takes a rock and just whips it at a guard, the guard gets hit, looks around, like, hits him right in the head, the guy looks around, sees a peasant, and shoves him, and that starts a small riot, at which point, was it you?
I was disguised as an elderly old woman.
Oh, were you the one with the smoke bombs?
Yes, I was the one with the smoke bomb.
Sets off smoke bombs, ninja style, and all of the heroes of the White are like, oh shit, a riot. Smoke and they're gone. We're out of here. We don't want a part of this.
Well, our cleric wanted a part of that, but
He did, but I can't fight that many people. He probably could have, but
oh well.
his whole the guy playing our war cleric, his whole experience was every week. Oh, there's no fight.
So that was that.
Just every week he wanted to fight, didn't get it.
Well, sometimes he
That was-
and
yeah,
then eventually
He'd
he
fight
started-
something, but it was like 3 rounds or something. 'Cause
Yeah,
he was
that-
a beast.
Oh, shit, such an utter beast.
I don't even remember what the Flaming Fist thuggery here is. Oh yeah, because right before you guys got the riot, Quinn was like, "Hey, I'm gonna try and stop this. That guy looks like he's doing something," but he didn't get the whole party to help along.
No.
So I mean, it's good job. But if you'd gotten everyone to try and stop this,
He-
it would have worked.
He was a ranger, right?
Yes, he was
Yes.
a ranger.
He was a ranger that took illusion spells.
He was a
Is
gnome
he a
ranger.
gnome?
He
Yeah.
was a gnome ranger, so he had the natural illusion.
Yeah, he had a little natural thing. I'm trying to think, what the heck are these? Oh yeah. Stage 3 was this was probably the best part because you guys actually did real D&D detective work throughout.
Yeah.
During the night, a bunch of the statues throughout Baldur's Gate. There's a ton of statues in the city, of course. And several of the more prominent ones had their hands removed. And then the following, a night or two later,
We kind of got involved in that.
yeah, and then a few nights later, the ranger,
Beloved ranger.
the beloved ranger, Minsk, who has his statue is in the Wide, and it's the only statue there, and it's definitely a big landmark, and he was a slow-witted ranger
Nice guy.
who was super kind and just a wonderful dude, and his statue has him holding in his hands what he called a pygmy giant space hamster.
Ladies and gentlemen, the writers.
Yeah, Minsk and Boo. Boo's the name of the little hamster. So a few nights later, those hands holding that hamster were taken. And that was actually fun, because you guys really, they looked around,
We were
they
good at
found
dancing
clues.
Yeah.
The party split up in a few different directions, but all kind of converged together at the end, and it was a really cool night.
And that was with
the
our-
biggest part the biggest
Yes,
thing that came out of this was the founding of the Ragged Messengers.
Yes.
Yeah. In the outer city, there's a bunch of just like Dickensian ragamuffins, as I always describe them. And one of the guys had paid one of them to deliver a message real
That
quick.
was the other wizard.
Other wizard.
Yes.
And then that evolved into a
entire-
network of the Ragamuffin
No.
Raga Messengers.
No, that was the guest paladin.
Oh yeah, that was Guest Paladin.
Yeah,
That wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't.
There was another cleric.
That wasn't Wacky
Oh,
Mage.
Yeah, you're right.
The other holy dude.
Yeah, alright, so we had what started from that is that we then started paying little urchins, or Dickensian street
Ragamuffins.
as you put it,
Ragamuffins.
which we called ragamuffins, to deliver messages and do certain good deeds and tasks.
You see, that first one thought that was a really good idea and started getting others in
Especially
on it.
'cause I
and
paid
he
him
started his
gold.
own little like kid business delivering messages.
Yeah, we paid him in
Messages.
gold and food.
And that evolved. We'll tell you about that in a second. But the other
Look,
thing...
look. Sometimes a PC, a player character, is gonna have a small army of children.
It happens.
I mean, it's gonna
supernatural.
happen someday.
And
Sometimes you're supernaturally charismatic and just people want to follow you.
additionally, what came from that as well is the one instance of the guest cleric and myself did a little bit of exercising / ghostbusting that session as well.
Oh,
Be gone!
'Cause we had
that
to
was great because they found out where the
the Vandals.
Vandals.
the most likely culprits were hiding out, and they couldn't. The shopkeeper wasn't letting them in to check around or anything,
So we
so
figured-
he illusioned up just a
the
ghost, and then the cleric
the
came in.
The ghost of the ranger with no hands.
Yep.
Yeah, the ghost of the ranger with no hand, the ranger whose statue had been vandalized.
They took my hand!
They took my hand.
And at this point, I'm level 2 in the illusion school, so I'm just like, I don't have to actually do 2 actions to make this have a noise and no switch.
Nope, image and sound all at the same time. Just, my hands, they took my hands.
And he got out.
He's like, whoop, gone.
And that scared the crap out of the shopkeeper. But did you guys make money off of that?
No.
No, because he was a
Not
cleric and he was going to be good about it. But he came in and exorcised the demon,
He
or
got
the
him.
ghost for them, which made him grateful, or her, I forget which. But then they were allowed to go and check out the
Well, yeah,
basement and find the
Of
guys.
course we were.
And then they got
because-
turned over, despite the fact that they weren't really the culprits.
Well, no. You see, the thing is, it turns out there
Oh,
were
I
two
thought that you guys
situ-
just didn't give a shit about them. I don't know. There were 2 sets.
There were 2 sets.
There were 2 sets of thieves, and these are the more.
These were people. Like the thing is, the
These
other
were the ones
statues.
that didn't really deserve to be punished as bad.
See, the other statues were dehanded because they were all like statues of noble grandeur.
Were they?
Yes.
Okay.
All the other statues were of like noble grandeur and pompous and pomposity and all that.
That's a
They-
fun word.
Yes,
Pomposity.
they were all the upper class, the upper
Yeah,
class
you're
statues.
right, you're right.
And then there's the
The
statue
beloved
of the
Ranger, no one's gonna mess with that. That's
Exactly.
awful. That's like somebody
Except-
cutting the hands off the Rocky statue.
Except for a bunch of highborn kids who got drunk.
Yep, a bunch of drunk frat kids.
Yeah.
Well,
And
rich
it's-
kids.
Because they're used to getting away with everything because their parents are connected because they're the scions of high families. But the thing is, the only vandalization that really set the entire city up in flames was the vandalization of the beloved Ranger. So these
Yeah,
are the ones we
that's the
crushed.
only one. Like all the other vandalizations, all the other hands being cut off. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's terrible! Oh, I can't believe people did that." They're upset because someone's messing with their city a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. It's a hand.
Yeah.
These aren't the really awesome statues.
And the
It's
lower,
just some guys.
city's just kind of laughing. But
this guy, that's not cool,
They
man.
took the what? Bastards!
Yeah, sons of bitches.
So we fed them to the mob.
Well, you didn't feed them to the mob. You guys were right behind where,
Worms Rock.
right behind Worms Rock,
So
where
we
the
fed
Flaming
them to
Fist
the
runs their
police.
shit. So you're like, here, these guys took them. Oh, did they?
They got locked in prison.
We's
for
gonna
10
make an
years.
example, and we handed them
Is
off.
that all
to
that
the-
happens in Stage 3?
Yeah,
Yep.
and we handed it off to what?
Wow,
Stage
yeah.
four sucks.
Yeah, no, we handed off to
Oh,
Raven Shield.
God.
Yeah, we handed up
Raven Guard.
Raven Guard, who absolutely wanted to punish and become Judge Dredd.
Well, not so much that he was trying to be in the running for being part of the city, the upper council of the
Yeah.
city.
Because
So he's just
when
like,
Admiral
I'm-
Adrian died, there's a vacant position. They needed to elect a new duke. Adrian was the guy who was normally interfacing with the Flaming Fist. So there's always one duke that's either, if he's not coming from the Flaming Fist, is always good with the Flaming Fist, on good terms. He's their intermediary, kind of.
When you say died, I think you mean became a ghost.
No, well, okay. One
Ghosts can't
duel
hold seats.
mutated into a horrible monster, which was then killed, then haunted Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
With a little
What happened
assistance
in
from us.
what happened in session 4? Because I can't remember session 4.
Session 4 was when the whole place smelled like poop and pee.
Oh right.
Yes.
Because the outer city people were getting the guild in the outer city were getting the people who collect all the waste at night to do it at a very slow pace, if at all. That's one of the 3 things that happens that day. That is a major plot point that you have to resolve, because why would you fight goblins or a dragon or something cool?
When instead you could try to negotiate.
Let's
your
solve
labor
sewage
stock.
problems in Baldur's Gate.
So, just
You want to know what the only
clarify.
solution, the only acceptable solution is?
Pay them off.
Bribery.
No one ever tried it too. So
I
they,
did kind of.
what they ended up doing was, by this point, you guys.
We're in with the guild.
No,
No. Actually, what happened by this point, we brushed over it because I forgot it happened so early on.
we came up with the homely hissing ants.
Well, no. Once you guys, the first time you guys dealt with Ravengard, this was probably right after you gave them turned the boys over. They were on very good terms with Ravengard now, and our war cleric,
No,
asked
we
Ravengard.
didn't have the lantern yet.
Yes, you did, because you fixed the problem around the low lantern.
First, we fixed it around.
Oh,
the
no, that's right. The homely
That's
hissing
next week.
porcupine. That's
Yeah.
right.
Our first protocol.
Yes, our first.
Their
protocol
first little base of operations.
was the homely hissing porcupine. I love that.
That's right. So all they really did was pay people to clean it up around a block or two around there.
No, I paid them to start there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that it was clear and they didn't have to smell it in the morning when
So
they had
they-
breakfast
yeah.
and such.
So they wouldn't ruin your second meal of the day.
First meal.
Second.
Wow, and then again, no Silver Shield, because why would he be on any of this shit? They just
Just, you
make
know.
him a big deal. And also that was Ravengard for Duke, and how was that? Oh, that was the bathhouses.
Yeah, that was
That went pretty well, right?
That's when we continued the haunting.
that was only Christmas Carol, the guy.
Oh, that's right. That's when you guys did that
So
to him.
set up to this is that we were told to either blackmail or convince
This
someone.
right here starts foreshadowing the smoke powder plot.
You mean that thing that almost certainly didn't happen?
Stage 4. That happens in stage 2.
Yeah.
So
Very angry about it.
this starts. We have a meeting
With
in
Ra-
bathhouses.
with Ravengard, the leader of the Flaming Fist, the company of mercenaries charged with the security of the lower and the outer city, but they really just choose to screw the outer city. Who cares about them? They have no money. So he invites us to the bathhouses.
Their job is to protect the city.
Yes. The city as the buildings, not the people of the
See
city.
these walls here? As soon as it hits anything on this side of the walls, is not their problem.
As long
So-
Except for that Worms Rock and Worms Bridge. Worms Crossing, that's the term.
So we're
yeah,
supposed
it's
to.
an entrance to the city.
We're supposed to be kind of evil, and I don't like being an evil character in D&D. You're supposed to be heroes.
So basically, what happened is Ravengard
You're not
wanted.
supposed to be evil.
Well,
No,
kind
but
of. We're supposed to
We're
either
supposed to blackmail or convince him to drop out.
either threaten or blackmail a man.
Or not.
We're getting to or not.
No. See, the thing is, no, he's talking about the entire situation. But
Yeah,
if we just
if-
say no,
Doing that,
Well,
you
just-
aided him and gave him another dot in the evil tracker.
Oh well.
but the thing is,
You never know you're doing that.
like, we never know we're doing that, and we have, like, no reason not to. The way the situation is given to the players is that Ravengard and this gentleman that we have to go talk to, are both kind of in the running for the Duke spot.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
The way it works is Ravengard's the guy who a lot of people, and actually a lot of the outer city, would like to have in there because he's from there. He's going to make sure that someone from the... That's it. It's not just that they need someone in with the flaming fist. They need someone who kind of represents the outer city,
The outer
or the
city, and
lower city.
Yes.
Yes, the lower city a little bit, because the upper city is a bunch of pompous jerks.
Yes.
And they can't, if that's the only people on the council, no one cares about the lower city, then it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So the two people who are up for running are Ravengard and this guy whose name I don't remember at the moment. And
He's an upper. He's upper
he's
city.
from the lower city, but he's totally in the upper city's pocket.
Yeah.
Like
Basically,
bought and sold.
super
Totally
sick-
paid for it.
Super successful merchant. Something about alchemical wood.
That's alchemically treated wood. That's right.
That's what we were going
It's
to
very
try
good
and
what it
blackmail
does.
him with.
Yes, we were supposed to blackmail him with some sort of
But come
flaw
on,
that's been found.
Blackmail's boring for these
Blackmail
people.
is boring.
Yeah.
So when we got there, we talked to the man. He says like, yeah, he didn't seem like he was that enthused about it. So,
Once
We,
again.
so we were having a dinner with him. We were doing this because we were the heroes of the Wide. It's still kind of popular amongst the upper crust.
And I think at this point we were
A
walking
little
to
less
have
so.
dinner with him. I declared to the party, I've got this.
Yes. Don't react to anything that happens next.
Yes.
So,
So what ends up happening is that we're sitting down, we're having a nice meal, we're all talking, and the guy who everyone loved in the city, Abdul Adrian, just appears I think because he claimed that Abdul Adrian, because I was gonna
Was a
lich
friend
him.
of him.
I was gonna lich him.
Was a friend of his. Was
Yeah.
somebody
Oh, yeah, he was friends with Abdul
Yeah.
Adrian. That's part of the reason people in the lower city are
were almost
actually on board with him a little bit.
a little bit.
So we just I caused him to appear. I because of my forewarning, don't react to anything. He just appears, goes, "Don't run," and he just declares, "Don't run, or this could happen to you," and then vanishes.
So the whole party's pretending that that's not there at all, not even reacting. They're having dinner conversation, they're eating and what have you. So this guy thinks he thinks that only he's seeing this.
Yes.
And again,
Not just Abdul.
I'm not good
chained
at
up.
I'm not good at rolling to
Well,
for NPCs to avoid being terrified by stuff.
That my DC was like 16.
Yeah, I mean it was a good DC to begin
It's a good
with. And he didn't
cast.
have a lot of bonus. Yeah, a lot of things. But some of them I just that Nantangle thing. I was rolling like 3s and 5s and stuff like that. That was not going well.
So that's what happened with that session, and then we wanted to scope out his house and continue the Christmas caroling. Wait, no, we did.
No, you guys left. You guys left, and they.
No, Andrew and I stayed behind.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
everyone
to
left
see if
the room, the
Yeah.
building and stuff,
We-
and you guys were just gonna check up on it.
check out and see if we need to continue. So I climbed up, looked through his window. He's freaking out. I'm like, you know what? Okay,
What's
it's
going
on.
on? Was that really him? Is he really
By
there?
3 ghosts.
We didn't have to give him the
I
full
know.
treatment.
No, you didn't have to go full Christmas Carol.
But
But
we
we
started it.
Oh, so much fun.
And then it continued.
So when we went back and reported that to Raven Guard, we're like, oh yeah, don't worry. You still got the blackmail in your pocket if you need to.
And then we got the low.
Yeah, save that.
And,
Rainy
that,
day.
and that's when we got the Low Lantern because our clan
That's right. He was so grateful. I mean, he gave you some sort of basic reward, I
had the
believe.
pins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little like pins that said, "We're working for Raven Guard. We're with the Flaming Fist," which it helped them out a lot. But then our war cleric's like, "What's going on with that tavern?" "Oh, you mean the Low Lantern?"
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. What's going on with that? And and Raven Guard's like, "Oh, well, technically it's our property at the moment, while she's waiting to be
Processed. It's gonna take a while.
prosecuted, not prosecuted, but processed. Yeah, it's going to take some while. There's some build up, yada yada, and it's more fun for you guys
We
that
have
way."
to push the papers and stand.
So I have Raven Guard decide, "Oh, well, you guys did this great thing for me. I'm very
You
grateful.
want a place to stay?
You need a place to stay. Here, I'll give you, the keys and what have you to the Low Lantern. You are free to stay there."
And then it got awesome.
Now, apparently, the party as a whole took "stay there" to mean more like run it as a successful spot.
And we did. It was fantastic.
Hey,
Honestly, it's because the rest of the city was kind of boring.
Yeah.
well, yeah, because what the heck else are they going to do? And from that point forward, our cleric was more concerned with running the bar than everything else that happened
Yes.
because of everything we
Well,
talked about in the
wait,
last
no.
video.
Everything
but
that
a
wasn't
possible fight.
everything that didn't involve him smashing something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, he was a war cleric who was worshiping Mudnuts, the Primarch Barbarian. Because
So.
honestly, that was the greatest barbarian.
Oh, Mudnuts
you've
is
ever gotten to
awesome.
meet.
All right.
He beats the drunken gnome barbarian through a table
Well, yeah,
because
the squirrels.
no, the squirrels doesn't beat it.
It's
The barbarian sneak attack.
Barbarian sneak attack. Oh.
So. All right.
Interesting.
Stage
Well-
5 is when they locked down the upper city as well.
Yes, and the upper city, and then also I think that's all that happens.
Yeah.
And there's also so the upper city's trying to keep start a curfew where they're gonna lock the upper city up, which means that's where the white is, where everyone does all their business. So a ton of merchants from the lower city and from outside of the city, or more from the lower city.
yeah, from the lower
city.
city.
From the
Have to
lower
leave
city.
early.
They have to pack up everything and leave early so that they don't get locked up there, which they'll get arrested for.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
This-
all losing out on a bunch of money and
This-
all this stuff, while the upper city merchants can stay there up until dusk when the place closes. They're fine.
But the thing is, the upper city merchants, there's not as many of them, there's fewer of them. So this is another problem that one of my characters was able to solve with the knowledge of economics.
See, I was going to describe the second thing first, the second thing as well, because both of these stages you solved with economics. Because remember, this was him. What is this? Oh, he's raising the tariff on all the fancy stuff
Wait.
coming in
Yeah.
to try and put a hurt on the upper city.
Wait.
Yeah.
Was this when I locked myself in my room, or was that the next session?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Because
this
going over this,
this-
I
This
I
is
remember
when,
everything
this is
that
when we
happened,
had
but
lunch with
it's-
the guy in
the
the
time
in the
frame's
wide
completely
goblin
wrong.
cart.
No, so it was the next session where I decided to do my. I think I want to.
Oh yeah, this is when you guys get to meet Corin. The
Yeah.
only time I had
No,
to meet
no.
Corin.
Then this session was the session I made the horrible mixture that nearly caused Baldur's Gate to burn to the ground.
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, stage 6 is when Andrew helped burn things.
All right. Wait. I don't. No. Stage 5 is when we went exploring to figure out where all the powder was going.
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. And also when we snuck into the harbor master's place.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And checked his book.
Which means, see this entire chunk of text? This was completely null and void by the time we got to the events it's referring to, because of that stupid counter and things being dropped.
All right. So stage 6 was.
I can't not be angry at this. Yeah,
Sneaking schooned.
yeah. Which
So-
I swear I mentioned to you guys.
Possibly.
All right, or you guys weren't there to see it.
Yeah, we're right
It's
there to see
like
it.
the one player who had read the thing already was upset that like they had never encountered this one thing. It's like, well, at the point when it happened, no one was there, so you didn't see it. That's the way this module runs.
And that's when we got the best cook in the world.
Yeah, once they started running the Low Lantern, they had to hire staff to run it. So they hired back most of the old staff, and then
They needed a cook.
they needed a cook. So I'm like, all right, here's your cook. And I looked, on the back of the DM screen that comes with the module, there's a little corner that has just random name generation. Yeah. So for shop, they've got shop names, which is nice. We've got adjective, creature, and item, which is how I came up with the homely hissing porcupine.
And the
Over
wine.
here, we've got these NPC names, male or female, and then we've got 2 different surnames to choose from. So I went with Acton Stodge. A name that
Somehow.
is, as soon as you say it out loud, you know what you're seeing. And then when I described him as a former sea cook, you've got it. We joked that instead of hook hands, he had spatula hands, but he doesn't really. Yeah, we can
have
put
hook
that.
hands.
So
Acton Stodge. He was awesome.
I remember where I nearly destroyed the campaign. It wasn't this stage. It was the one with the riots.
No,
So like, the second to last one.
Mm-mm.
No, it was
the
way
massacre.
earlier than
about
The
this.
massacre.
Yeah, the massacre is different.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, that's another reason it was so bad. So like the next stage,
You were burning things.
you talked to the chick who leads the guild, and she was like, "Hey, we're gonna burn some places. Now we don't want to destroy them. Just give them a message. Do some scouting for us."
No,
and you did.
Sure.
This was that session.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
like,
was
well, I
one of my
doing
favorite things because you guys never stopped it.
that. We used it.
You used it. At this stage, Silver Shield says, whole city, we've got old school dueling rules now. There's no... dueling at this point in the city happens, but there's laws to it. It doesn't have to be to the death.
Has to be.
It has to be...
equals.
The combatants have to be fairly evenly matched and things like that. This is old school dueling. This is everyone can duel everyone. It's great. Or not at all, because at some point you guys stopped a guard who was about to challenge one of the ragamuffins.
No, like, it wasn't a guard. I think it was like.
Oh, it was just some freaking
Noble.
patriarch dick.
Who was going after like a kid,
Yeah.
and so our war cleric was offended by this, and
Bashed his hand.
whack,
Wham!
one hit.
Just done. Because he knows how to run a character.
While this was all going on, my character.
And if you had stopped it, well, it didn't matter, because he never gained things. Oh, this was also when Raven Guard's running all those kangaroo courts, which I also don't think got stopped.
No, yeah, that was the session then. So my character is there going around trying to fix the city. My character decides he's going to buy alcohol and paint. Chris goes, Max, our DM goes, what are you doing? I'm like, don't worry, it'll all make sense soon.
I'm like,
So-
no, Max, I need to know what's going to happen. I don't
So-
care what you do, I just need to know what it is.
I tell Chris what I'm planning. No, I don't tell you that time. I did that after that.
Well, no, I kind of had an idea, because I'm like, alcohol and paint. Well, I know kind of what you're going to do.
So, I wrote down the percentages, and I rolled. And I wrote the numbers down, like the DM saw me do this. Then I get to like 70% paint, 30% alcohol. I crit it. I show it to the DM. You agree.
Yeah, he does all that bookkeeping. I'm cool with that.
So I wait for the Low Lantern to have a party. And I make myself known at the party, pretend to drink more than I, should. So I go up to my room. It's now nighttime.
You
I
roleplay
then-
far better than you needed to.
I then walked out to the gate of the outer city, who were kind of angry. And
yeah, so it's this huge gate, and then right outside is where the outer city area, all the slummiest slums of Baldur's Gate start.
The ones who aren't allowed inside.
Yeah.
So
well, they are just not.
I also bought a really big paintbrush that day.
Oh crap! You used Mage Hand, didn't you?
And then I mage hand and crit, and I drew the sigil of
the City Watch.
the City Watch.
Yeah, the Flaming Fist.
No, the City Watch.
Oh no, yeah, the Watch. Those jerks from the upper city. I hate them.
Everyone
So-
does.
So
They don't do anything.
They're like the only people allowed to have horses in Baldur's Gate.
what ends up happening is I successfully crit mage hand. He tells me to stop rolling because that's good enough.
Yeah.
I paint this huge.
Well, I was gonna have you roll 3 times, but the second roll was a crit, so I'm like, that's a double.
So I paint the sigil, and then I light it on fire. Just light it on fire.
That's
And then-
pretty big. Everyone sees it, and people are freaked out by it. Like, oh, those dicks! God damn
And
it!
to add insult to injury,
See, this is where it gets bad.
I illusioned up one of the people I saw in the dueling sessions, just impaled on the wall, just to see where it would go. The DM stops for a second.
I'm like, Max, you just broke the encounter. You ruined everything. Do you realize what this means? If you do this, these people are all going to freak out and break into Baldur's Gate. They will rush it, and they will start killing everything. And they will get the lower city on their side, because this was the upper city guard doing all this horrible stuff, supposedly. So everyone who's not in the upper city is going to attack the upper city.
Full-scale rebellion.
The entire city's going to be one big flaming horror fest riot, and the whole campaign's over. Which means that Max is the most murderous person in the whole game, and therefore becomes the chosen of Bahal, and everyone would have to fight him for the rest of the session. And after that, we're done.
Honestly, we could have taken him.
It would have been fun. It would have been cool. But one of our
At that point,
like
I was a higher level than all
two
of
of our players looked a little scared that like we would just suddenly have it end. And one of those two is the guy who read the module already, and he was frightened. You can be like, that's not how it goes. That's not. This isn't the way it's supposed to work.
Does not compute!
Anyway,
Besides, also, what we're going to do for the next 6 weeks?
we could have played
Done something
Ravenloft.
Duel of Ages 2. That's what we did last week.
Yeah.
We could have played
For this
Ravenloft.
week. I was wishing we had that last week.
Hey, you know what?
I
Honestly,
would have bought it, but that was the only one they didn't have.
I gave you the app. You just didn't take.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, what was stage
Alright,
7?
just to clarify how that was all
So-
resolved, they went up to the kid to try and cut him down.
And then as soon as they touched, we
was
saw it was magic. Because the illusions, as soon as they're touched, they disappear.
Or
Or like,
they
oh,
go for
okay. Okay, it was magic, but still, they're unruly. But at this point, everyone's really unruly anyway, so it's kind of hard to notice. What the heck happened to stage 7? The newspaper stuff.
Yeah.
This was actually cool. There was some new... well, Ravenguard was trying to shut down the newspaper, Baldur's Mouth, because he was thinking the guild was using it to send signals to people, which is true. He's right about that. But he didn't have any evidence yet.
So we went to a party. By party,
you guys-
kidnapping.
Yeah, you did that. And then there was actual... Rilsa, who runs the guild, she set up some kidnappings. So...
Which we stopped.
which was actually kind of fun, because again, it was something where the party went around, they did a little bit of investigating,
The thing is, we didn't
figured
know-
stuff out.
We didn't know it was by the guild.
Yeah.
So a lady came up to us and said, please, our son's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
Can you go save
Yeah,
him?
you're the heroes of the Wide. I've heard you guys can solve problems. I need your help.
This is a fun video. I'm just going to say about Baldur's Gate, I've never forgotten what dice I was supposed to use as my wizard before. Because we only had combat 3 times.
3 times. This was one
And
of
I
them.
bought wizarding dice.
Actually,
specifically for it.
my favorite part about this combat was the very beginning of the whole thing. I was chiding one of our players because he was a dwarf paladin. He was a dwarf, and I was chiding him because he said, "Screw it! They have a portable ram. I'm buying one." Really, you're gonna buy a portable ram? Who's ever gonna use that? Well, at some point, they're like, "Well, this is the place where the kidnappers are supposed to be, but it's locked. How do we get
And
in?"
then his face.
Stand back! I've got a ram! Bam! Bust the door down, the guys go in, they have a couple rounds of combat,
And we
save
slaughtered
someone.
everybody.
It was great, it was fun. And then it got horrible, because this is also the massacre. More or less, a bunch of people from the lower city are massed at the gates to the upper city, and they're not rioting, but they're demanding like a redress of grievances. They
Yes.
they just want to go to the High Hall, which is like their
Town hall.
their town hall. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. They want to
They just want to
be heard.
go and talk to the judges and the patriarchs. They want to talk to the ruling body in some form and just say, hey, these are the problems we're having. How can we fix this?
We need
Democracy.
to fix this.
Meanwhile, Raven Guard's there trying to hold everyone back and keep them all back, and he's got guards behind him there, but you can tell that he's not trying to start a fight. His guys are all cool. But then on the wall up behind them are a bunch of just jerks from the upper city. A couple of mages and stuff, a couple of people with crossbows and their fancy dress and everything.
Yeah. Nobles, basically, who are looking to hunt people for sport.
The only way you can get out of this is if you have someone who's good at real conversations in real life, go up to Raven Guard and make some good rolls, but also make some good, real, true, like, debate-style points.
And the person that read the module failed.
No. That's not who went up at all. No, it was our paladin, our dwarf paladin. First off, our dwarf paladin or not, I don't think of dwarves as having high charisma.
Well, it depends on who they're talking to.
This is true. Raven Guard, maybe.
Or it
Anyway,
depends on
he
who
goes
they're
up.
interacting
He doesn't do it very. He's just kind of fumbles around with the conversation a little bit. It doesn't go too well. And then one of the guys up there, and this is kind of how the thing's written. One of the patriarch guys up there says, "Yeah, screw it," shoots into the crowd. And more or less a whole massacre ensues from there. Those people charge, Raven Guard's people charge them. Raven Guard at some point can be seen telling a guy, it's pretty clear that he's telling them he doesn't want them to attack. But now, this started and everything's going. There's people flinging spells and shooting crossbow bolts from up. It's horrible. It's a mess. And it is not good at all. And there's not really much you can do to stop that at all. It's just gonna happen.
And then I went around.
And this leads to the next stage, stage 8. You wake up, stage 8, just the whole city's kind of starting as a big riot starts and just grows throughout the day. And at this point, these guys, the whole party had stopped caring about the entire plot really and trying this or that.
We were at a dance battle.
You should have seen me there. I'm like, all right, guys. We're like, all right, welcome to Encounters Go.
So there's
Like, we all have no desire anymore.
Since the lower city was descending into riotousness, first my character realizes a pinch is a chance. So first tells the cleric of war to, hey, there's some trouble out in the city. Make sure you patrol around, keep order
That's
around.
what he does.
In our
He
neighborhood.
spends this time bestowing the blessing of Mudnuts unto others, which means walking around.
Hitting people.
In the neighborhood
Walking around the Low Lantern, their bar, and just patrolling, keeping the rioters down. No, you're not messing up my city. Or at least you're not listening to my area. It's in my neighborhood.
Yeah, like we basically started.
Oh, and the ranger was up. I'm like, well, it's a ship.
It's still got a crow's nest.
It's still got a mast and everything. The Low Lantern was like a permanently docked ship that was the tavern. So he's up in the crow's nest of this docked ship,
And
spotting and sniping for the cleric.
This is the same session where Virtual Tom calls in the necromancer with the
Oh,
zombie.
yeah. Tom gave me an idea for this one since it happened around. It was October, definitely October by this point. It's like a week or two before Halloween.
No, well, we finished up around Halloween.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of October.
So he gave me an idea that a necromancer would be rioting too, and then a thriller dance-off happens. So that happened. I'm like, you know what? That was a good idea. I got to throw this in. So a necromancer and a bunch of zombies and a few skeletons show up outside the bar, and then so the ranger runs down,
Jumps down,
makes it,
Yeah.
which was awesome. He lands and he challenges the necromancer to a dance-off.
The Gnome Ranger.
Yeah, so they're having a dance-off. I'm just making stuff up, having them do rolls. I'm like, oh, he rolled poorly. He does a really bad version of the robot. It was great. In the meantime, the cleric is moving his way around.
Has already invoked
he's turned undead. So he's the reason that they have room to dance. That he created this big circle that they actually had to dance in. So he's moving around them.
Sneaking up.
Which means the circle of undead is moving as well, sneaking up behind so that at just the right moment, the ranger fires an arrow real quick into the necromancer's shoe. Did he hit?
Yes.
He did.
Hit his foot to the ground.
And then the cleric's wham! Knocks him out.
After creating a grind.
Oh yeah, that's, I completely can't believe I forgot that. He comes up behind him, he's like, alright, I'm making a roll to grind. I'm like, I guess that's charisma? He's like, but he rolled a crit.
Yeah.
So that was a critical
his
grind
grind
behind
is
the necromancer, and then wham, just knocked him out.
And while the dance
Did not kill him because they kept the necromancer as
Chained
entertainment for the bar.
And while the dance-off is happening, the riots are happening, and at this point,
I love it. Max
I
just walked out,
decide,
like,
I just
yes.
want to walk out into the riot, be like, no, hit that guy in the shin. What are you doing? Kneecaps, Bricks, go over there.
Stage 8, right.
And of course, because I wanted to continue the haunting of Baldur's Gate, Acton Stodge.
No,
not
Abdul
Acton Stodge.
Adrian.
Abdul Adrian. Abdul Stodge lives on forever. He's
Right.
a Highlander.
All right, yeah, you're right. Well, that's not.
I'm the
cool.
DM, that's true.
He can get his head cut off.
No.
He's better than a Highlander.
Okay, there you go. So I'm
What's the D&D God of the Sea? His
Create-
avatar.
I create another illusion
Of
of Abdul Adrian telling them that in fact he still loves them and what they're doing is right.
More or less, riot more, my minions!
So I then walk up to a roof, or climb up to a roof, and I hire one of our nice little ragamuffin messengers to start playing the violin as I'm matching up ice.
That's
Cube.
how he ended the night with the riots going on.
So while that's happening, while the riots are devouring the lower city, part of the upper city, I realize the Flaming Fist.
You realize you want a new bed.
No, I realized that the Flaming Fist would be distracted, so I hightail it out to Little Kalimshan, talk to Rilsa, and be like, hey, there's a riot, riots are starting in the lower city, this is early in the day.
She's like, yeah, duh.
The Flaming Fists are going to be distracted. You want to get some guys and go take stuff from Worm's Rock?
Screw it, just meet the guys that are already there.
And I think she sent like one or two with me.
Yeah, she gave you a couple of dudes to come
Yeah,
along, but
yeah,
there
like-
were, she already had sent people out there.
No, I don't think she'd sent them already.
There are just other people
They're
that are just
opportunists.
Yeah, they're opportunists that are
Right,
already
right.
there looting stuff.
So like me and like three other guys, like, hey guys, no, inside, leave the outside pristine, just the inside. So we set up chair avalanches. We took everything that wasn't nailed down. Well, almost.
No, you
all
took, you took all the weapons and all the supplies.
like all their supplies,
Everything
all
really
the weapons,
useful.
all the
And-
useful stuff. Set up chair avalanches, and then every piece of like everything from the quarters of Raven Guard,
You're
everything.
forgetting one thing.
And then I
The
filled
most
his,
important thing.
and then I filled his chambers with chamber pots.
And took
Yes.
his bed.
Yes. Well,
Took
I
his bed-
I took everything out of his chambers.
all the way
Back
back, the
to the
little lantern
lantern.
and installed it in his room.
Yes. My character had a new bed.
Not a lot. What was the next one? The funeral procession, which is entire. God damn it! All right, so this funeral procession thing that happens basically entirely revolves around a plot that you don't find out isn't happening until until the next week.
Yeah.
And at this point, I should have known and should have dropped this because there's mathematically you couldn't have gotten it,
Something exploded.
and then it ended up not. Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
And then we hired a
Martial
rabbi.
law starts off, and I don't remember if you guys cared about that.
We made use of it.
Yeah, and the weapon smuggling we didn't even touch
I
on.
don't think we even knew about it.
Stage 10 is when it got good. This is the second to last night, and this was the only reason that this kind of thing is fun is because I'm a rather permissive DM.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so we're working out what they're gonna do. Rilsa wants them to. Rilsa would tells the halfling, we need some people broken out of prison. You're like, I think I know a guy who's working on something. We can help with that. One of these, the biggest plot of all, gets dropped because
Wait.
things.
Is that the
Then the public
public
executions are happening. Yes. What?
No, that was the 11th session. Was it the 10th session is when I hired all the ragamuffins to set fireworks up.
There's only 11 sessions.
Do you
in.
see that?
Oh, there's only 11. So 9 was when I hired. All right, session 9 is when I hired a bunch of our lovely ragamuffin messengers. After dressing like an old man, because I couldn't find out any more information about the plot that was being dropped. I go into the
Why?
fireworks store at Baldur's Gate, disguised as an old man. Shell out like 45 gold. Because I'm like,
Okay,
Lord
first
Lightning-
off, he shows up and it's just like, hello, I need many explosives for exploding things. And I'm like,
And-
Max, you're gonna need to roleplay better than that. And then he's like, fine, I'll show you roleplaying.
Hello, good sir. I have 45 gold, and the low lantern just opened up. My grandson's run it, and I would like fireworks.
Sure, whatever, old man. We'll just bill you. The guy was busy.
No, I paid him there.
Yeah, you paid him.
And then, because he was being an ass,
I prestidigitized the worst smell he could ever smell in his store and leave.
He was
And he
able to
immediately closed shop. I'm like, oh God, no. All right, everyone out of the shop. We're closing for lunch.
If you remember, the reason he knew that is because at some point he walked into a tavern and said, "I need to inspect your grease."
Oh yeah, that was really fun. Like he just wanted some grease because it's one of the components for one of his spells. No big deal.
And I wanted to prestidigitize, and I needed to know the smell of grease. So if you're like, Max,
Oh, you
know
needed
what
to
that-
replicate it, right?
You're like, Max,
So,
you don't know what that smells like. Yeah, I do. I researched this if it ever came up.
Oh, well, what he did was, instead of like saying, okay, I'm gonna walk in, I'm going to pretend I'm doing this, I'm pretending I'm an inspector, and said, oh, good sirs, I need to just do a quick inspection for the city or something. So he just walks in and is like, I'm an inspector, I need to see your grace.
Just walks into the.
I am just a normal human worm baby.
So I walk in, and the guy's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just inspecting your grease.
And then we
Or
real quick
grease.
retcon and he did it kind of correctly.
No. My character covered for.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Here.
Anyway, I want to get back to stage 10 because
Yeah.
this is really fun.
Let's
But
start-
no,
when it
the
kicks
main
off.
part of the entire thing about the fireworks is I start drawing a map, and Chris is like, oh god, he's drawing a map.
And I'm like, he's got a diagram.
So I
Oh.
pinpoint where I'm sending ragamuffin messengers with fireworks to attack certain points in Baldur's Gate with said fireworks.
You shot fireworks right at Silver Shield's place.
I did.
Like interactions.
From like, yeah, it was pretty damn good.
Some of them made them over the wall.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's stage 10.
So most of how we set up was first with the executions.
Yeah, they saw that there are executions being done all over the city that Raven Guard set up, all the lower city, and you know there are people. It's not cool. It's horrible. There's all sorts of people that are probably innocent,
Just completely pointless reasons to kill them.
and also it's totally overstepping their bounds with their contract with the city. They're technically not allowed to do this.
So
So you guys, we need to stop this, and we also need to break people out of a prison. And Max is like, hey, Chris, what kind of boats are docked?
No. I create a list.
Oh yeah, he created a list of things, and
The chronological order of how I want.
oh yeah, stuff he wanted to do, because he had things to set up. He wanted to set up, like, chamber pot bombs, essentially, all
Piss
sorts
pots.
of things.
Piss pot bombs.
Piss pots is what he called them.
flaming piss
Yeah,
pots.
he recruited several teams of Raga messengers.
I recruited
Yes,
30 ragamuffin messengers.
divided them into teams.
Yes.
So they could do things, sent them about the city doing
The first
errands,
job-
setting things up. He got a bunch of seaworthy men, and with Acton Stodge.
No.
Acton Stodge came along, and then you
Alright,
just
so the way
ended
it
up
broke
with
down
sea
is like
folk.
research ship, steal ship. After stealing ship, send
Yeah.
message to Andrew about stealing ship and him becoming my first mate. After that-
You sent the message to me beforehand because I helped you steal the ship.
No, I'm just saying
Yeah.
alright, so research ship, send message, steal ship, find hat, find crew,
The hat was part
find
of it.
That's
ammunition,
crucial.
buy ammunition, come up with sigil, profit.
Yeah.
Was essentially
So
While everyone else is doing all their other things for the day, every so often I'm like, all right, Max, this part's done. All right, Max, that part's done.
Right. And also, see,
Having him make rolls when applicable.
while he was starting that plot is when my character was talking to Rilsa out in Little Kalimshan, learning about, she needed, learning about the prison break opportunity. And also that she wanted someone specifically saved from the execution happening at Worms Rock. So we learned that there were 3 execution sites. One near the gate to the outer city, one on the docks, and one down at Worms Rock. This is also when the Raga messenger comes in and says, "Here, your friend has a plan," and that's when I had a plan.
First,
my plan was better.
here's
No,
how
I improved it.
they found a boat that was armed, that was heavily armed enough, but also not small enough to really get away with stealing, and also not a lot of crew were on board. Because there's a lot of horrible things happening in the city this day.
Yeah.
So, did you just scare a bunch of people first?
No.
I forget exactly the details of how the
Some
boat
of them
theft
were scared
worked.
off. The ones below decks were recruited.
Yep.
After we tied them up.
Yes. Well,
Again, rolling
Jonah
poorly
died.
because they scared. He caused fear, and people are like, they jump off the boat comically. It's great.
It was great.
So they steal a boat, and they start sailing it out. And as they start sailing it out, they realize, hey, we're coming to bear on the execution site where Raven Guard is.
And the prison.
So we load the
They
cannon
haven't
with
done
chain.
anything horrible yet, so no one. Oh, so what? It's a boat leaving the harbor. No
It
big
happens.
deal. And they're coming around, and I forget what rolls I had you guys make, but they make the roll.
First, we fire on the prison, the water tower.
No, first we fired at...
Did you hit him with the main guns
No,
or with the side
four
guns?
guns.
No, we
With the
fired first at his... where we could see him in the window. So he runs down to the
No.
docks.
No, he
What the hell are you talking about?
he was
No,
right here,
he was-
standing on
He
that
was on the
point.
docks.
Okay.
Well, here's how it happened. First, as we were coming around, we fired on the prison. That caused a stir. So then, as we were coming around, we broadsided with the first two guns of our broadside, loaded with chain. We blasted the gallows that were set up. This pissed off Raven Guard, so he's standing on the edge of the docks, like glaring at us, yelling at us. So we fire at him with chain-loaded cannons.
And was that a crit?
Double crit.
Double
Double crit for both
Bam!
of them. Separate people rolling dice, both of them crits. And well, crap! You just blew up Raven Guard.
Ripped
We caught him in
bits.
half.
He's a red mist.
Yep. And then we had, as we were sailing through, we reloaded the cannons. We busted the wall
The
of
first
water
and second side guns had gotten around there.
Yeah.
So they fired at the freaking sea tower more, the prison, causing more chaos and putting more holes there for people
Yeah.
to escape on their own.
And then we sailed up the river, down the river. We sailed
Down.
down the river towards Worms Rock, where the other part of the party was prepared.
They were all. Oh, that's right, because the other part of the party was causing a disturbance to try and delay the execution,
or to take advantage of the
or to keep it from.
Yeah.
So they ended up. Did one of them just toss a dude over? I think.
Dan was already
like half the people. He's just like, what's that?
What's that?
What's
Yeah,
that?
he's just there. Oh no, wait. He was dressed as one of them, right? He had taken someone's armor, so he's wearing armor of the flaming fist.
The way he got this armor,
I
was
forgot.
he found a guy, just grabbed him, killed him, took his armor, threw him in the river.
Yes.
That was after the party where you were mud blessing against the dwarf where I won 120.
I won that
And
fight.
then I remember one of the other guardsmen who were up there, the flaming fist guys, was running at Dan, and then Dan was like, huh, just again over the side.
Like 3 men down.
And then they fought the next one or two guys pretty conventionally, and by that point you guys had shown up.
Yeah, the boat was underneath, and so I threw a grapple up there, we let everybody go, and we won.
And I floated off to
Fame and
redecorate the
fortune.
ship.
Because screw this city.
So yeah, I got
And
a
then
pirate
after
ship.
And then we'll take 3 seconds to talk about the goddamn
The final
battle.
stage.
Alright, now the final battle, the location and who you fight depends on what other stuff you've done, who you've stopped how many times. Basically, it's whoever's the highest on the evil tracker.
It was going to be Raven Guard, and then we turned him.
But
into
they
ants.
killed him. So he's completely negated. So then it ended up being Rilsa. So this is great because it's the only of one of these 3 battles that happens in the wide, so I had the map for it, which made me kind of happy. But the way it works out is you take her normal stats and then you add this other block that has like 4 or 5 powers, and that's it. I think we went over this mostly in the other video. She doesn't really get any defensive bonus or anything. She won initiative, but then everyone else won initiative over
Her minions.
her minions for the most part. So she rushes in and attacks. Well, they're in the wide. It's a big celebration to try. The celebration's happening to try and take everyone's mind off of the whole
And
city
then
descending
she
into
starts-
chaos and
It's
magical.
tradition of bread and circuses. They're trying to
Yeah.
distract the populace.
It's not so bad. Parties.
Please don't kill us all.
And then like her and a couple of her guys just start coming in and killing people, and
She gets to
she
show
gives
them.
a speech and she kind of freaks out a little bit. She doesn't change as much as you'd hope. It'd be cool if she became
Or
a
at all.
monster or something. Yeah. And she rushes in, and then you guys you hit her for a good amount of damage.
A little bit.
You stabbed her pretty well.
Well, I
Oh,
used
you
the
threw
ring of the
something,
ram-
right?
I used the ring of the ram that I stole from Worms Rock.
Oh yeah, at some point I got bored and just gave them all a magic item
Because
each,
I stole-
because
we
this
stole
was not a
every-
fun module.
We
a
stole
lot.
everything out of Worms Rock. They had magic items.
Like, yeah, fine. There's one for everyone. Here you go. Because there's no other way to get them in the adventure. They never give you even just one. You don't even get gold in this, really.
Not really, except for the stuff that we
stupid
managed
thing.
to procure.
So you used the Ring of the Ram, did a decent amount of damage.
And pushed her back.
Then our half-orc
Barbarian.
barbarian, who was it was the first time he'd ever played D&D, He has advantage on attacks while he's raging. So he's raging.
He would have hit
rolls-
normally, but then
he
his
rolled like a
second one-
17 or
Yeah,
something.
He
And,
would
like,
have hit, but then he rolls the second one and crits
and
it.
it's a crit.
So he's raging, and bam!
And that strike was well over half of her total hit
It
points.
was like 23.
Yeah, and she's like in the.
She had 33.
She's like 30 some. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was down to 3 hit points because I hit her for 7.
Yeah, and then our paladin's just like, oh wait,
Weapon.
no, that was the magic weapon I had given to him because he's a dwarf. He had a throwing hammer, a magic throwing hammer.
And then he uses
So
his
he-
paladin power to make a divine smite, which gives it another 2d8. So he's rolling 4 dice on this.
Yeah, hits her and just bam,
Bam.
done. She's dead. She's down.
He
And then
did-
our cleric of war's just like, oh come on! I want to fight one damn person. It's the boss. I don't get to swing at her. Come on. It was well. I mean, it sucks for him, and I feel bad he didn't get the fun that he normally gets out of it. But it's really funny for our
Yeah, the great thing was, like, she missed both her attacks.
Oh yeah, she missed both of her attacks. If her attacks had hit, some of the guys would have been severely weakened. They get petrified, or no, they get immobile. They get stunned, and then they end up unconscious. If they keep failing, it starts being like death. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, but she missed. Twice. Like, she attacked twice.
Like it seriously took 3 real-world minutes to do the entire final battle, and everyone's like, "Oh, what? Now what?" I'm like, well, I don't know, guys. I don't even have the new thing. I don't have the stuff to roll up new characters. I don't know what the hell we're doing at this
So
point.
go buy Elder Sign and done. So yeah, that's how
Yeah,
we,
then I bought Elder Sign. We played that for a little bit.
So that's the fun we had in Baldur's Gate.
I would like to
basically-
point out that almost any adventure that was run in this, that it run in, it doesn't even have to be in Baldur's Gate, though some of it does. But I mean, any kind of adventure they could have done this. This is the kind of stuff that would have happened if this book wasn't there and all I had was they were in Baldur's Gate. A lot of this stuff probably would have happened on its own.
Yeah.
A lot, or at least similar stuff. You guys would have found your own goofy things.
Yeah.
So you guys, there's no way you weren't stealing a ship. I know you guys.
Well, no, the reason that even came up is because we were just completely sick of Baldur's Gate because it's
So you're gonna steal the ship and leave.
yes,
Yeah.
that was part of the plan. But then,
Like,
then
oh, fine. I guess we'll do something good on the way out.
But you know, we actually got on the boat and we didn't get attacked by terrible things like krakens or
we were the terrible things attacking.
You are.
yeah. But so yeah, that's Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
And
That's how we.
That was the fun stuff that the players and DM can make happen in a game, even when it's a really poor module. That's the fun that we can have.
Yeah, the reason that we had so much fun doing this is because the actual module sucked so much,
Yep.
we had to somehow have fun. So we're
Yeah,
just like,
they had
you know
to
what?
create their own entertainment.
Let's
out of
go
this
over
thing.
here.
Yep.
It's like, oh, right, your political intrigue that we can't actually be involved with or influence in any satisfactory way. Okay, fine.
Because
we'll run
this
your
guy had-
errand, now go screw off and stay away from us. We're gonna run our tavern, have our mud wrestling fights.
Like, I know
and
you're
what
starting off
have
at
you.
first level, but come on.
And honestly, it's because this guy won't let us run death cults or cities.
Yeah, what up with that, Chris? What up with that?
You're not allowed to run a death cult, damn it.
And I'm not allowed
I
to.
really don't want you running almost any kind of cult. It's really kind of scary.
But
You don't get minions. You don't have trouble trying to figure out what you do when you've got 3 powers.
but
I
we
used
had
them
our
all.
own minions.
Yeah.
They were called the Ragamuffin Messenger Squads.
I fed them.
Long live the Ragamuffin Messengers.
Oh, they're coming back next season. You better believe it.
Maybe, depends on where we're at.
If I'm continuing the Legend of Quince, I'm gonna have my ship, and at least
Alright, everyone, that's enough of our babbling. We're done. Maybe we'll shoot another video, but we're done with the fun parts of Murder in
Any-
Baldur's Gate for now.
any closing comments, Andrew?
I think I already made them.
Okay, Chris.
I friggin' hate this module and I want to burn it.
I guess I'll just leave it with. I also hate this module, but never quite underestimate what a mage can do with the illusionary school because it can be fun.
Oh, no, I do have one